Good morning, everybody. How are you? Check out my lovely breakfast. A lovely pineapple. So that's going to be my starter breakfast. There's my friend accompanying me. He was very curious. He comes out every morning and sees what I'm up to and what I'm eating. And there's a little friend as well. Alright, so my friend Steve James, he loves to run. He asked me, "Oh, what are your thoughts on 2013?" Because I asked on Facebook, "Hey, anyone any video requests or just thoughts on videos?" This is nice, by the way. After this, I'm going to have some around 3 or 4 or 5 mangoes. Later, I'll have around 10 bananas or more. But anyway, let's get back to the video. My thoughts on 2013, everybody. I don't really have any thoughts on 2013. I'm sorry, but for some reason I made this video, but I think it's going to be a really boring video. I don't really have any thoughts, just, I don't know. Years ago when I was changing myself a lot, I wanted to iron out and remove my egoic traits of inconsideration, selfishness, meanness, not being as good a listener as I wanted to be. All these little facets and little things where I felt I could actually improve these things. There's a number of things where I'm not really that great at, or else I'm good, but there's a lot of room for improvement. Back then, I'd look back at the year and the November or December and say, "Whoa, I've changed quite a lot. I've really improved this year in quite a lot of things. Maybe I'm more patient. I've a bit more acceptance of people, more peace towards people, bit less judgment and all that stuff." But yeah, so that would happen each year then, for a few years, and then Eckhart Tolle hit me, and I woke up to the idea that I'm not what I experience, but I'm the invisible field of awareness in which the experience takes place, the silent watcher, as Eckhart Tolle might say, or the spaciousness that surrounds the present moment. So these days I don't really look back on the past too much, because when you start to think less and your mind becomes quieter, you're not paying as much attention to the past and the future as in time as much. And as a result of having less attention and focus on time, which is just in the mind anyway, so the less you're using your mind to think and focus or dwell on time, like resentments, guilt, bitterness, anger, worrying about the future, envisioning the future going wrong or whatever, the less you're doing this and the less you're preoccupied with time, which is just in the thought and in the imagination, the more you're just sort of just chilling out and looking at the present moment and all this stuff. So you still think about time practically. Yeah, you learn from 10 minutes ago and your argument with somebody, or you learn from whatever else. There's a kid. Yeah. So then, and I'm less preoccupied with time. So all I'd say for 2013 doesn't exist. It's never really going to exist. All that's truly going to exist is your present moment. And that's, in my opinion, the truth of it. As best that I can tell and ever experience, birthdays don't even exist outside of a thought that you're thinking on, dwelling on, focusing on, thinking about. And it's a happy, cheerful thought, but we can have these thoughts to make every day your birthday if you want. These days don't even exist. The present moment exists. You can make whatever you want with your mind. Basically, life is all about your mind. Almost everything is about your thoughts and mind. It's about your perceptions, attitude, focus, what you put your attention on, how you think about something. Perception, attitude, outlook, basically speaking. And what you think about something, is it good or bad, is it positive or in your perception or attitude or outlook, and then you might get excited about things, look forward to things start manifesting, you start attracting things, you have a positive outlook, you're excited, you're seeing things in a favourable fashion, you're making the most of things, you're seeing the best in people, you don't have a problem with stuff, and you allow yourself to tell people that your behaviour stinks and I'm sick of it or I'm tired of it, if you want. But it's not coming from meanness, it's just coming from love and a different way of expressing them to try and hear you, because sometimes lovey-doveyness and being a goody two-shoes or holy goody two-shoes doesn't touch people. They just don't learn or hear that stuff. So you might have to talk more in their language or more along their lines of behaviour and just be blunt. But because you don't have a big problem, and because you're coming from a place of loving and hoping that they get better and like improve, evolve and change their destructive or disruptive ways, you don't mind when you're communicating in a different way. It's still loving energy, it's still okay, you don't have a big problem, you're alright. And as a result, you're not stressed, you're not really particularly upset. And you can laugh and smile and get on with life and send them loving wishes. It's simple, it's really easy. So that's my thoughts for 2013. Almost nothing. I haven't even thought about 2013 to be honest. I've maybe spent a second in the last year thinking about 2013. And maybe more. Maybe more. I don't know, it's such a rarity I ever think about 2013. I'm just